Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day and welcome to the show. Listen, I'm glad to have you guys here on this December 14th, 2020. Welcome to the show. Now, I'm going to talk about inflation and deflation. And this is why, right now, what we're having is kind of like everything's stalled with Bitcoin. Everything's stalled with gold. Everything's kind of stalled with silver. It's just kind of sitting there. And that's because investors are taking kind of a wait-and-see approach. There's a whole big argument made out there for deflation, and there's a whole big argument made for inflation. And if you're going to approach these two different things, inflation, if you're approaching inflation, you're going to want to load up on Bitcoins, gold, and silver. But if you're thinking deflation, you're going to want U.S. Treasury bonds, and you're going to want the U.S. invest in the U.S. dollar, perhaps hold cash on the sidelines. So it's a totally different strategy for these two different things. And investors really right now, there's a big argument made for deflation. And we are in deflation. When you see all these businesses going under, and this is deflation of the general economy, and it's massive. So, which way do you turn? Who do you listen to? Do you listen to these guys out there who are deflationists and who are saying that you better hold dollars and everything and hold treasuries? Or do you listen to the guys who are saying, hey, this is going to inflate? Now, right now, it's kind of like balance between the two, and we're actually moving toward deflation right now. And this makes the argument for the deflationists more valid. But here's the thing. The whole bet comes down to what the Fed's going to do. Now, I don't think they're going to do anything until February, to be honest, or very late January. You know, maybe the last few days of January, they might come out and do something. And in this case, we're going to continue to see the economy start to deflate because they haven't done any stimulus in a long time. The only thing that's holding the markets up right now, basically, is the fact that we have very, very low interest rates. And this makes it much easier to float the market, the low interest rates. And that's I mean, if interest rates were to go up, the market would crash. Absolutely. That's what's holding the markets up, these low interest rates. But anyway, let's get in there and take a look and open the charts right here and take a look. Now, we're going to take a look at the silver price, $23.89. Now, I want to tell you which way I think it's going to go. I think it's all going to inflate because I think that there is such a massive problem in the system with so many people out of work that they're going to go back and they're going to sometime in late January or early February, we're going to see a big stimulus. And then we're going to see another one later in the year. And they're going to keep pumping the money out there. And they can't stop because if they stop, the whole thing's going to deflate on them and the whole thing's going to crash and burn. So they're just going to have to keep inflating. We're going through a little period right here where there's a big question mark about whether it's going to be inflation or deflation. I'm in the inflation camp, solidly in the inflation camp, because I don't think they can ever stop. They can stop for a little while, yeah, like they're doing right now, and the system's going to start to deflate. It's going to scare them. And then they'll go back to printing again. They'll crank up the printer. And this is just going to continue. This game's just going to continue. You know, and each time they crank up the printer, they're going to need to crank it up all the more. And that's the way I think they're going to go with this, you know. But yeah, there's these guys out there who think, oh, they just can't. They look at all the pension funds and everything, you know, and they just can't print that much money, can they? Well, so up till now they have. They just keep up in the bar. And that's what I think they're going to do. They're going to continue to just keep up in the bar, you know. Anyway, let's take a look at the silver price today, $23.89. Now, it's like I say, it's kind of stalled right now. It's just kind of going along sideways with silver because of that big question mark, you know. Take a look at gold. Well, the question mark, I mean, is it going to be deflation? Is it going to be inflation? That's the big question mark. And that's why it's all stalled. If anything, it's almost wanting to go a little bit bearish. The market's everything right now. It's almost like the euphoria is starting to wear off of that big print that they had back in last March. It's 3.2 trillion. Euphoria is starting to wear off, and we can see it reflected in these prices. Gold's down $11 today at 18.27. So anyway, moving on to cryptocurrency today. What we're looking at is a market cap of $559.9 billion in the cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin's still doing good. It's over 19,000 at $19,139. But it's suffering in this same little thing right now. And this is going to continue, this uncertainty. That's what I'll call it. This uncertainty, whether it's going to be inflation or deflation. And there's enough people out there who think it's going to be deflation that's going to hold these prices down and going to hold the euphoria back. Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's up a little bit, 32 points at 30,078. Crude oil's 46.31 today. I'll tell you what, I'm watching very carefully the rollout of the vaccine over in the United Kingdom. I'll tell you what I'm watching for. Mortality. Death. To see if people are going to die from it. I haven't heard anything yet. They've been punching an awful lot of arms with the vaccine. Now, over in China, they're making a vaccine, but they're making it by the old process, where they use actual virus particles that have been deactivated, right in the vaccine. From what I understand, that's the old process, and it's more likely to cause adverse reactions. But the newer, higher quality vaccines, are not going out to the third world countries. They're over 90% effective, whereas the Chinese vaccine is in the 80% range of being effective, and it's made with the older technique, where they actually use virus particles in it. So that's going to be rolled out to the third world countries. Meanwhile, in the first world, in the United Kingdom and America and all the Western countries who basically are going to get the higher quality stuff, But I'm watching very carefully just to see what's going to happen, because there's an old saying, an old British saying, the proof is in the pudding. In other words, you can't really tell what something's going to do until you actually go out and actually do it. And that's what they're doing right now. They're actually doing it. They're actually vaccinating. Well, right now it's probably in the thousands, and soon it's be in the millions. They're going to be vaccinating, and you just watch and see what it's doing. I know for a certainty what the virus is doing. It's killing. An awful lot of people out there are dying in the United States and in Canada and everywhere else, but what's the vaccine doing? So far in Britain, they've rolled it out for like 6 days, and it looks like it's going along pretty good. I'm not hearing any news about anybody dropping dead from it so far, so that's my gauge. My gauge is I want to know what's really going on out there, What's the real scoop? What's the real... In this world that's so crazy and so full of uncertainty and fake news. There's so much fake news out there, to try to sort through. I want the truth. That's what I want. I don't want fake. I want the truth about things, Anyway, we're looking right now at crude oil, 46.31. Move index today, 47.52, And it's up a little bit. So we're watching the move index because this is a big important index. This index is so important, the move index, because this is the credit markets. If this move index goes like over 75, and it can, Because if we look back, go back over a year, look how it shot up here. It shot all the way up to 163. Boom, just like that. Got to watch that move index. That's when they were forced to do the stimulus. The credit markets were going to freeze if they hadn't have done it. That move index can shoot up just that quick again. Boom! It shot up within a period of a month or so, and it started shooting up right here in January, and by March, it has shot up to 163. Okay. Bonds and rates today. We're looking at mixed bag in the bonds. Bonds are falling and they're raising. U.S. dollar index today, 90.70 on the U.S. dollar index. It's kind of going along sideways, just above 90 lately. Now for our strange but weird, we're going to take a look now at our picture. I want you to focus in on this guy. I'm going to bring the cam in so you can see this guy. He's a punk rocker with green hair, And anyway, remember what he looks like. Get him in your mind. Remember what he looks like. This. Yeah, a lot of people keep turtles as pets, And I get a kick out of this because, let's bring it around so we can see both of them here. They both look a lot alike. Man, they ever look a lot alike. He looks a lot like that turtle. Anyway, punk rocks went out of fashion now, but it was a big rage there for a little while. I think they had a few punk rock bands and stuff. We go through these phases. Humanity goes through these phases, like the hula hoop, and then all these different fads we go through, and some of them are very interesting. I almost would like to do a show on the fads, go back and take a look at the different fads and put a show together on fads. Maybe I'll do that sometime, put it on my other channel. Anyway, listen, thank you guys for listening to the show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.